Robin Slim Show. We are back on IPM Nation and Ustream with Mark Netter from Nightmare Code. Mark, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me on.
No problem. Thanks for coming on and such short notice. That was awesome, dude.
No problem. That's how we work.
That's cool. Where are you from, dude?
So I'm originally from Albany, New York, Del Mar, New York, actually outside of Albany. I currently live in Santa Monica, California, on the western edge of Los Angeles.
Nice. What brought you out there?
The movie biz. I wanted to get out here, work in entertainment. I came out, worked on features, got sidetracked in San Francisco into the video game business for a while, worked with the creator of Prince of Persia, Jordan Mechner, on a few games, Last Express. Ended up working on Tetris, and then came back down, and am here in LA again.
Oh my God, I got my kids tablets for Christmas, and one of the games they got is Tetris. I can't stop playing it, dude. I have a PlayStation 3, and I have, plenty of games, and I just can't get off the tablet playing Tetris. It's amazing.
It's a Russian plot to undermine American productivity.
They're going to come in. I feel like any minute they're going to come in, and the Cold War is going to be full-blown.
It's all part of the Cold War. That's what it is.
But that's where it said you had the idea for Nightmare Code from working in video game programming?
Yeah, I don't know how much folks know about Nightmare Code. It's a psychological sci-fi thriller about behavior recognition technology, which essentially is something that was science fiction when we wrote the movie, and isn't anymore. That's the idea that there could be a camera on you guys right now, and somebody's looking at a monitor, and they know what you're thinking and feeling, not just what you're saying. And in our movie,
I'll break the camera right now.
Yeah, there you go. In our movie, the technology goes rogue and actually starts modifying the behavior of the people who are actually trying to finish creating the program in the startup.
How does it do that?
Well, you have to see the movie to see, but there's something really freaky, perhaps supernatural, going on inside of the code. And I think we leave it up for the audience to decide whether or not the code is it haunted, or is it just an absolutely brilliant, super artificial intelligence that a genius programmer's created and left behind after he's massacred everybody, all the executives in the office.
That's awesome.
I don't know why, but it's not even related. But there was this movie called The Shaft that was about an elevator, and it turned out there was like artificial intelligence in the elevator, and the elevator was killing people.
Well,
or the tire.
In our movie, the technology is called Roper because it ropes in all the video in the area and actually ropes in people too. And Roper is definitely giving characters the shaft.
I would call it Al Roker. Al Roker.
Al Roper. Yeah, and so I had worked in games, and I knew how programmers talked, and I knew how programmers I knew what it was like to be under pressure. I mean, one of the dirty secrets of the game business, it's been a little reformed lately, is that you're under constant crunch time, and that's what it's called when you are eating pizza and sleeping in the office and trying to finish something for a deadline that some executive gave you that a programmer can't possibly hope to complete.
One of my friends went to school for it and said it was terrible. He didn't work long in it. It was really miserable. It wasn't as cool as he thought it was going to be.
Yeah, there's actually been some scandals about it in the game business, and Electronic Arts had to reform its policies 10 years ago. I don't know where it's at now, but
yeah,
I've also worked in a mobile social network startup that was a little closer to what they're doing in Nightmare Code, and that it was a technology that was backed by some venture capitalists, and it was also a case where pressure comes on, you got to finish things in time. If you're not getting any traction, everybody in the office is under even greater pressure. Troubled startup.
Wow. That's crazy, dude. How many movies have you written? Did you write Nightmare Code?
Okay, so Nightmare Code is co-written by myself and a fantastic co-writer, a good buddy of mine named MJ Rotundi, who lives in New York. So we're literally on opposite coasts while we're writing this thing, and I got the opportunity to do this because a video game company actually backed me, a development company called Spark Unlimited. And I ran home from this lunch where I met with my friend Craig Allen, who became our executive producer, and I said, look, Roto, which I call Rotundi, I said, we've got this chance to actually get a movie made after talking about it for so many years. They'll put a little bit of money in. Just co-write this with me. Just stay a few pages behind me writing the script. I'll write the treatment, which is essentially kind of like a storytelling prose without all the detail. And he did it, and then we, worked that over until we had a good first draft, and Craig loved it, others loved it, and we made a second draft and went out to actors. And we were shooting 6 months from that lunch, 5 months from that lunch, which is unheard of in the movie business. We're just very, very lucky.
I was going to ask how long.
Another 3 years to get it released, but yes, to get it completed and released. But, yeah, the movie has over 600 visual effects, and this is a movie that's, if you're a fan of low-budget science fiction movies where they kind of over-deliver for you, we have over 600 visual effects in the movie. There's the behavior recognition technology, there's all the different software screens, there's some bullet effects and blood effects, and there's some interesting 3D craziness that happens. And all that stuff took about 10 months to do because we were doing it on a low budget with a great company called Psychic Bunny here in L.A. But, I have to say the time was really worth it. I'm super happy with the finished film.
And the actors in it were pretty big. What was his name? Andrew J. West from The Walking Dead.
Well, he wasn't on Walking Dead when he came to us. He hadn't been on Walking Dead yet.
Wow.
He had done some other TV work and some indie features, and he was just fantastic. I mean, he was not only a great actor, and because I think you'll see like a crazy great performance with a huge range of emotions, but he's also a very handsome guy, and he was brought to us by Mae Melanson, who was our lead actress. They had shared an agent, and they were friends. And she's fantastic in the movie. She had been in X-Men: The Last Stand as Psylocke. Some of your fans may know. And she'd also been on The L Word in a recurring role. And they both had great chemistry, and they were really fun to work with, and they put everything into those roles. So I can't be happier for Andy. I mean, the fact that he made such a big impression as Gareth on Walking Dead, the yuppie cannibal, is pretty amazing, and I just see great things ahead for him. And May actually is doing more writing now. She's starting to write for television, and she's just a super smart person.
And who's the other guy?
Googie Gress.
Yes, Googie Gress.
Foster Cotton. Well, Googie has been around for longer than anybody in the movie. He has been working since 78. He's even done like a trauma movie, I think.
Wow.
And Googie is fantastic. You can see him. He was on recurring roles recently on Parenthood. He's been in Apollo 13. He's one of the mission control guys. He's in Armageddon.
Yeah.
And he's great to work with. The crazy thing is that, because I'm in Los Angeles, right? So Googie was coaching my kids' baseball team. And I got the idea for this character of Foster Cotton. I thought, God, Googie would be great. And Foster Cotton, the older programmer who goes on the murder spree before the movie starts, but we find video, Andrew's character, Brett, finds video and starts to relive what happened. He's a super nice guy in person, like the sweetest guy in the world. And I kept looking at him I'd be looking at him at practices. He didn't know that I was writing something for him, and I'd be thinking, like, yeah, I think I can see how he could be like a disgruntled worker.
That's amazing.
I would say the big thing about Nightmare Code, and I think this is great for anyone who gets a chance to watch it. I mean, it's out on iTunes, it's on Google Play, it's on Steam if you're a gamer, it's on Xbox, it's on YouTube Movies, VHX, Vimeo. It's all over the place, and it's on DVD as well. It's told from the point of view of the artificial intelligence. Roper is telling you the story, and I think we're the first movie that actually tells it from the point of view of an artificial intelligence, with surveillance camera and PC cam and 4 images at once on the screen, like a surveillance monitor for at least, half the movie, but really messing with the sync between the images, messing hopefully with your heads like Roper's messing with the characters in the movie.
Nice.
Cool. Sounds like a really interesting concept. I have not watched the movie yet, but I feel like I'm going to have to after this interview.
Right afterwards tonight.
Yes. I was watching the trailer. I saw that it won a lot of rewards, and they were also at one point comparing it to Primer, which it does kind of sound similar as being very weird and different, which is cool.
Are you guys Primer fans? Are you a Primer fan?
I am a huge. These two. Pete, I had to watch it. He just didn't get it. And Rob, I don't think you've ever seen Primer.
I've never.
I've watched Primer like 3 or 4 times. Read all the timelines on the internet and everything. Yeah.
Well, I would say I love Primer. I still don't completely get it, but I would. I can't stop watching it. I mean, I think that with Primer. Primer won Sundance for the best film, and it's not, the typical Sundance kind of regional, charming, small town picture. It's about time travel, and it feels like a like a low budget Kubrick movie, and I feel like it was such an inspiration to us because it showed that you could make your movie feel bigger than it is if you understood your genre and really played with big ideas and were willing to take chances with the narrative, and also, I guess, had good performances and stuff like that, and good shooting. But that was what was really, and it was funny because I would talk about it with Roto, my co-writer, and then when we were on set, occasionally an actor would come up to me and go like, "You know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of Primer. Have you seen that?" And I would be like, "Yes, we're on the same wavelength." Awesome.
I actually did like Primer. There were parts of it that kind of confused me a little bit, but I did like it.
I think what it gets right, and I think that what we try to do too, is that you feel like these guys are legitimately tech guys,
yes.
like they're tech programmers, whatever. And we really try to make it feel when you watch Nightmare Code that you're looking at people that are real programmers, or at least actors doing a good job of it, or quality assurance testers, which gets a little more granular. But we and I've had programmers come up to me with like grins on their faces after festival screenings and special screenings, and telling me that they've never seen anything that actually felt like what they actually have to go back to tomorrow morning. So that was really gratifying.
That's cool.
That we didn't miss the boat on that.
Yeah, I think the last artificial intelligence movie I saw was Short Circuit.
Really? You're behind. You're very behind.
What was it?
Ex Machina, I think, was the last one I watched.
Yeah. Ex Machina is a little closer to our type of spirit, where you really can't trust that technology because it doesn't have morals. I mean, what is the moral? What are the morals that any artificial intelligence is going to have? Can you program that in, and does anyone even bother? I think that the big thing we wanted to do with the movie too was to start a conversation so that people who saw the movie afterwards would have something to talk about, and we feel like there's something to be said about how reliant we've become on technology and how much it seems to be influencing our behavior.
If it goes out for a minute, I'm freaking out. I can't get on Twitter. I can't get on Facebook. Like, what did I do before this? Like, I don't know. There wasn't life before this.
Well, it's like at my home right now, like my regular internet connection starting to slow down. I'm thinking like, oh my God, I've got to get FiOS. I've got to get.
Yes.
I can't wait any longer for this webpage to load.
What else?
And then we really, and then it comes to the question of like, not only are we spending so much time with technology, but is it really controlling us already? I mean. We program things into our phones so that we know when to do certain things. People can't even apply for a job online these days without having to go through a bot that will search your application for the correct keywords.
I'd say you can't fill out anything handwritten anymore.
People can't navigate anymore without.
Right? You can't read a map.
Yeah.
What's that? Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy stuff. And then we also really wanted the movie to have, good long builds of tension, and then these moments, these sort of explosions of, for lack of a better word, violence, that would hopefully make a big impression and kind of, keep you glued to the screen.
Cool. What, when it was going through like the rewards you won, there was like a Philip K. Dick film convention. What is that like? Because I'm a huge Philip K. Dick fan.
Oh, that's great. Well, there's a great film festival in New York, and actually they just ended this year's. We won last year's, called the Philip K. Dick Science Fiction Film Festival, run by a great guy named Dan Abella. And we had a fantastic screening. They show it at the Tribeca Cinemas in New York, or at least that's what they did for our year. And we had a full house, and at the end of the weekend, we had won the top prize. I guess the most Philip K. Dickish, if you can say that.
Right.
And I'm a fan of Philip K. Dick. I'm not I wouldn't say I've read every single book, but I mean some of the books like Man in the High Castle, which I'm watching the series now, and Ubik, and
I love you, Big
Phil
Ubix.
Mike
One of my favorites.
Who wants to see Mike Philip K. Dick?
Nobody wants to see your Philip K. Dick.
Yeah. It's always fun. We said a lot of funny things when we won the award. We love Dick. Dick is great.
Well, my father actually introduced me to Philip K. Dick, and he's a huge Philip K. Dick fan, and he calls himself a dickhead.
Well, I think the themes that we have in common with Philip K. Dick is the total untrustworthiness of technology and how it actually is boring into our brains and starting to change us from the inside. And the whole idea of surveillance. He so much is into this idea that, you're at some level being watched. I mean, he kind of lost his mind towards the end of his career where he thought he was being watched by, I think, the government. They were reading his brain waves, and he was having some relations with God through, psychological means. And so, Nightmare Code is definitely a descendant of Philip K. Dick. And if we ever got a chance to, develop one of his properties and turn it into a film, I know we'd jump at the chance.
I do want to see a Ubik film. I know he had written a screenplay for it, but I don't think it ever gotten made.
I've heard that there may be one Michel Gondry was working on, and the other one that I really kind of thought would be really cool to do, because it'd be very difficult to do, would be Flow My Tears, the policeman said.
Okay. I did read that one.
Where it's crazy because it's very hallucinatory, and then in the middle of the book it completely changes to almost like you realize it's like a different story is going on than you thought, or something. Who knows what's going on?
Yeah, that one was trippy. I did read that one too.
Yeah, so that was definitely part of it. And the other big award that we were really proud of is our premiere was in Los Angeles at a festival called Shriek Fest that is run by Denise Gossett, and it's just a fantastic horror and science fiction film festival. It's now been going for 15 years. Okay. They actually had their first festival right after 9/11 and pulled it off, and they just kept pulling it off every year. So they had 3 top awards there. They have Best Horror Film, Best Thriller, and Best Sci-Fi Film, and we won the Best Thriller award.
Cool.
First showing. Yeah, it was nice.
Did you want to wrap this up, or?
Yeah, I guess we'll get ready to take a break, and we'll come back. But thank you so much for talking to us, and let everyone know again where they can find you, Mark, and your movie.
Absolutely. So, look, you can go to nightmarecode.com, and you can watch you can download or rent or buy a version right there. That's your VHX site. We're on iTunes, which I think is probably easiest for most people. We're on Google Play, YouTube Movies, VHX. If you're a gamer, watch us on Steam. We're on Xbox. We're on Vudu. We're on MGO. We are on DVD. And any place that you watch us, if you do like the movie, please make a nice comment and a nice rating. And, we're looking for anything like that helps an independent feature like ours that doesn't have a huge Hollywood marketing budget to get seen by other people.
Awesome. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you for the opportunity to talk to you guys. Real fun.
No problem. Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye now.
Take care.
Who wants to see my Philip K. Dick?
I'm going to watch King of Queens.
King of Queens.
Did somebody got that right now?
Did the science fiction talk kind of...
Clean the palate.
I like that kind of stuff,
I know.
All right?
Yeah, I thought you were just going to say all of them. I didn't think you were going to... You could have stayed on.
No, I didn't really have much more.
I think
just keep going.
You and Mike need to have a sci-fi.
I do like science fiction stuff. I know his movie sounds really interesting though, and the trailer made it look really good. I like stuff like that. I like the real kind of deep things that you got to watch 50 times to understand them.
Primer, I did.
No, I need to watch something half maybe.
Primer, I did
that was a great movie.
But
what about Chappie, huh? Where the fuck is Chappie?
Chappie.
Chappie was all right.
Cool. I heard what's her name? That one bitch that was in it was really hard to work.
Yolanda, both of them.
Yeah,
both of them were apparently really hard to. They were the.
I heard that's why Abe Vigoda died, and that Mike had something to do with it. I was hoping Mike came into that interview and you would just start screaming at him. That's all I'm picturing in my head during that.
Yeah,
that would fucking rule. So we got a comedian one next. That's as much as that as I can handle. Philip J. Dick.
He's the guy that Blade Runner and
No.
No.
The guy with the sling blade?
No, that's got
No.
Harrison, that's got Han Solo in it.
Oh,
where he kills
fucking-
androids.
No, he wrote the
The Force
story
Awakens.
that Total Recall. He wrote the original story
Total
that Total
Recall.
Recall was based on.
From Aqua Teen Hunger Force? That was fucking good.
Yeah,
Fucking
totally.
great. That was good when they had to bring Carl back. But yeah, Total Recall was good. Get your ass to Mars.
Which one's the one where he he sits on that toilet and it like
That's Total Recall.
Yeah.
When it kills him. It was a waterless toilet with a fucking jet engine.
yeah, something. He comes back. He's on like some old black guy's body.
Yes, they got a black guy's corpse.
I didn't
And they
don't
sewed his
remember
head to it.
feeling so old and black.
And black. And then they just got a bunch of eyeballs and made a body out of eyes and sewed his head to it. Oh, that's great. He's like, why my knees feel like they're gonna tear up.
They have him on like the truck, the remote control fucking race car.
Yes, that was the end of it.
It was amazing.
That was fucking great. All right.
All right, guys, we're going to
Right.
have a break. We'll be back.
Smoke break, shit break, piss break. Take your fucking breaks now. And go to hangoverpretzelcompany.com.